I'm going to be talking about self-care and why it's okay if you're not okay all the time. So, for many years of my late teens and early 20s, I was dealing with depression and it was creeping up on me. It got more severe year by year until I started to have psychotic symptoms. Um, I don't know my exact diagnosis at the moment, but I've been told various things based on the severity. Um, but it has gotten to a point where without medication, I do lose touch with reality. If I'm under too much stress or if stress creeps up on me, I can't always tell. Um, and there's just been a lot of things I've learned about trying to take better care of yourself and ways to do that when your mind won't let you. Now, for some people, that might seem like a strange thing to hear, like your mind won't let you take care of yourself. How's that work? Well, really, it doesn't. That's the thing. Most people naturally feel compelled to take a shower, or compelled to brush their teeth, or compelled to like gussy up or do their hair and comb their hair. But when you have mental illness that's severe enough, your mind literally will not let you. What a lot of people don't realize is that the dopamine levels in your brain and other things too that I can't think of right now, but definitely dopamine, like that's your reward system. And when your reward system isn't working, nothing's rewarding. So you may have a lot on your mind, and if the levels in your mind aren't right, then you won't really know how to cope with anything. You'll just kind of lay around and stew in whatever's bugging you. But there's ways to keep yourself clean and healthy, even pushing through those battles. And I fight these battles every day of my life. Um, I, sometimes I may not shower. And to those of you out there who just don't understand and you think that's just laziness, it's not. It's really not. There's millions of people suffering the same way I suffer sometimes. And, there's a lot of people who will say, well, that's nasty. Why don't you bathe? What do you mean you don't bathe all the time? It's like, I want to, and others want to, but our minds are not where they need to be. So there's other ways to um, take care of yourself. And I implement those all the time, every day. So I wanted to share a few of those things and talk about a few of those things. So with bathing, I get in the shower whenever I can, but on days when I'm struggling mentally, I might not shower. I might skip a day or two and then shower later. It's not as bad as it seems when you only go a day or two. It's not very long. And it's not like I'm doing something strenuous every day that would cause me to sweat and be dirty or covered in dirt. Like, it's different when you're older, especially because you're not like a kid anymore. You're not playing outside every day, so you don't actually get as dirty as a lot of people would think. If anything, you might just have some dead skin cells to slop off in the shower, and that's no big deal. Everyone has that, even people who bathe every day. Um, but for days when I may feel like I've gone a while and I'm struggling and I haven't spoken to a therapist or someone yet, I do have a wonderful psychiatrist and I'm in the process of trying to get a therapist again. But on days when you haven't spoke to anyone for a while and your mental health has kind of been going back down, I use wipes. I have some wipes that I like a lot, and I can actually show you guys those wipes. So here are the wipes that I like to use. Um, they are flushable and they tear down really easy, so don't wipe too hard when you use them. But um, these and they come in different fragrances too. But I love rose water, so I chose rose water. And sometimes Um, I usually don't use wipes as much though anymore. Um, what I will use or what I'll do if if I feel like I need to be even cleaner than with wipes, I'll just go ahead. I may not be able to mentally get myself to step into the shower. I know that sounds crazy, but this is the reality for a lot of people that you may never even be aware of. But sometimes I mentally cannot get myself to just step into the shower, even if I gather all my things and set them up right next to the shower so I can just step in and have it. I may not be able to get myself to do that. So instead, I will just use the sink um, with the with my body towel. And people say, "Oh, that's disgusting," or "Ew, like you bathe like a so and so." I don't know if YouTube will let me say the word that I've been thinking of, but um, you know, a woman of the night is what like people will say. You take a woman of the night bath, if you know what I mean. Because they're known for doing those things in sinks, but it's just a sink, guys. Like, it's not that bad. Um, but I will just wash my underarms and wash my private area. If I feel like it, I will wash my arms and legs, and I'll be clean. Clean enough for the moment until the next shower. And right after I do that, I one of the smartest things I started doing was instead of just buying regular deodorant, I will buy deodorant that lasts like 3 days. So that's not too long of a gap to go without a shower if you're an adult who isn't messy. It would be different if I worked in like construction or something where I get really dirty, but I don't. Um, so I like this current deodorant by Dove. It comes in different smells too, but I chose the shea butter one, and it's 72 hours, but it smells nice and it lasts long, so I don't have to worry about cleanliness as much. And for days when I do make it into the shower, I get to reward myself with um, some good smelling lotion. I like the Jergens original scent. It smells like cherry almond, and I have a nice big bottle of it just ready and waiting for me. It's a wonderful smell. Um, Even though, in all honesty, I've had days where I was able to get into the shower, but the motivation to lotion, I couldn't do it. So on days like that, I'll use like a little roller ball of perfume I have. Hold on. So this is I've had this for a while, but I love this Kumba Made fragrance. It's frankincense and myrrh, and it's just a little roller ball of perfume, but I can smell it through the label and bottle. It smells really good. It smells kind of like baby powder almost. But if I don't feel like lotioning, I won't rub abrasively, but I'll gently dry myself off and just go on about my day. Now, I usually will try and lotion later though, because I don't want my skin to dry out. Like, you have to seal in the moisture with the lotion or something, or else it'll just your skin will be really ashy and dry if you don't lotion eventually. Um, but yeah, there's just lots of little tips for self care you can do, and um, people, you know, it's something a lot of people don't talk about because they're ashamed. But mental health is something that needs no more shame added to it. That's why people don't go get the help they need. It's because they're ashamed. They're worried about what others will say and what others will think. And, they're worried people will find out, oh, you bathe this way, or you don't bathe that way, or you do things that way. Um, like using the sink to clean yourself is okay, in my opinion. Just clean the sink out later if you need to, people say, oh, that's nasty. You wash your private area in the sink and you wash your armpits in the sink. Well, I think it's a lot nastier not to wash yourself at all. So, there's that. Just people need to really develop more compassion when it comes to mental health, because when your mind isn't working, you don't live in a proper way. even with cleaning things around the house, like I've had days where my house wasn't like super nasty. I don't have a lot of means of making a mess with, but like I have a dog. I'm sure you guys have heard him shaking his collar jingling in the background in some of my videos. But I have a dog and he's a heavy shedder, and if I go more than a week without vacuuming, there's just hairballs all over the floor, and he's not like balding or anything like that, but that's just how it's like really fine hair, and it just clumps up and it adds up really quickly. He sheds a lot, especially in between seasons when his coat is trying to be new again. But yeah, I just um, there's just a lot of things I don't do anymore or struggle to do because of mental health. And I feel like I do better with cleaning than self-care, but even with cleaning, I sometimes may not feel like it. Like with dishes, for example, I'll if I don't feel like thoroughly doing the dishes as I use the dishes, I just make sure I rinse them off so well that there's no food left on them. So that way, if I don't get to the dishes by the end of each day, like maybe I'll do it just in the next morning. Like I don't let dishes sit in the sink very long. Usually no more than an extra night from the day of using them. I don't think I've ever left dishes in the sink for 2 days. I always do my dishes before bed if I can. But if I don't feel like it, I just rinse them off to where there's no food left, and it won't be like rotten and stinky. It'll just be almost clean dishes in the sink for me to wash with soap the next time. Um, so it's just, um, it's just, it's just difficult sometimes, and that's why I want to talk about it. I'm trying to reduce the stigma around mental health and mental health issues, and you know, hair is another thing. Like I've had several days where I had to pray to God to help me finish my hair because I just have no drive to do my hair, and that's why I keep them in twists. Because even now they've grown out a lot, but if I just spray them with some leave-in conditioner and water from a bottle, I mix um, leave-in conditioner. I'll go get it. So it's a little dusty, but I use the Pattern Beauty leave-in conditioner. It smells good. I love it. It's not heavy and greasy. It works on my hair and keeps it soft so I don't neglect my hair. And it's empty. It just has a little bit left in it. But this is the spray bottle I use to shake up a little water and conditioner in it, and I just spray the top of my hair and lift up my braids and spray through. And it feels good. And on days when I don't feel like washing my hair, I just add moisture to my hair by doing that. And it smells good and it makes my hair soft. I usually wash my hair in the shower because these twists are long and it's kind of annoying to do them in the sink. Sometimes I do them in the sink though. I will wash my hair sometimes in the sink if I don't feel like getting completely wet. Um, but yeah, I'll do that. And that's another way I take care of myself on days when I'm not motivated. Um, I don't know when I'll redo these, but soon enough, probably, maybe in a few weeks. Because they're not hurting anything, just being left the way they are. Um, they just they're just grown out though. They need to be redone soon. But a lot of protective styles are a great way for you to take the stress out of having to do your hair every day. Um, just there's a lot of hacks you can use every day to take care of yourself. You just have to practice. And sometimes I'll brush my teeth after breakfast. Sometimes I'll brush them before. It just depends, I guess, on what I'm having. As long as they get brushed, that's all that matters. And, brush before bed. It takes good care of your teeth. Um, like, sometimes, though, like, if I'm having, I have coffee every day. So, I feel like I usually brush after I have breakfast. So that way the coffee stains aren't on my teeth. Like, they get brushed away. Um, I don't really have any hacks for brushing your teeth as far as mental health goes, like, because cavity prevention has to be done a certain way, and I still get cavities. I'm just one of those people who gets cavities no matter how I take care of my teeth. Um, but, just, yeah, there's so much to talk about. I don't mean to stammer and waste time, but there's just a lot of things to talk about. Um, I don't get out much. I try to, but the motivation's not there. I used to do bar every morning and every day for exercise. I haven't done that in probably a year or so now. I just my the medications I'm on, they also zap my mental health. They make me not motivated to do things. I struggle with lack of motivation. Um, I haven't been employed for quite some time. Um, I hope to be employed someday again, but right now I have to focus on my health. Like, I can barely take care of myself, so I pray about that daily, and I remind myself, um, you know, you don't have to do it now. I remind myself there is plenty of time to do things. I pray and ask God to guide me for a lot of things. Um, it's really just you have to take stuff one day at a time. Um, just I'm sorry I keep saying I just that's a terrible habit I have to break. um, One day at a time. One day at a time is crucial. You may not feel like doing everything at once, but maybe one day for your laundry, the next day organize your drawers. Um, Maybe the next day, give the dog a bath, and the next day, do something else. Don't try and do everything at once. Is one thing I've learned. That's just mental health. Like, sometimes you just can't make yourself do things. You really have to make time for grace. Um, yeah, just make time for grace. Don't be too hard on yourself. Even if you're a go-getter, I'm a go-getter in my own right. Yes, um, there's other ways to exercise. There's other ways to go out and experience the world. But if you don't feel like it, that's just how it is. Like, you don't feel like it. So, um, there's nothing you can do about that. Um, Maybe just taking out the trash is your way of getting out for the day. I know that sounds ridiculous to some people, but when your mental health is that bad, even just getting out for like 5 minutes to walk down to the trash can and chuck a bag in there and walk back, you got out for the day. Maybe not the most pleasurable outing, but at least your home is a little cleaner and you don't have to smell trash. Um, what else? I'm running out of ideas. I didn't write anything down, but I should have. I struggle to read. I've said before I struggle to read books the way I used to, but because my mind's just not clear. It's under control. Like, I don't hear voices or anything like that. I'm not judging anyone who does. I'm just saying I don't hear voices. Um, So my mind is clear, but it's not like clear enough to read freely or retain information. My medication actually makes me um, struggle to pay attention and struggle to concentrate sometimes. Like I can't retain short-term information as well as I retain long-term, and I don't know how to convert short-term into long-term. Like I don't know how to make that happen on purpose. Like it's just whatever I keep, and whatever I don't keep, I don't keep. Um, Getting done up to leave the house, I don't really go anywhere, so I usually don't do anything. Like right now, I'm wearing a full face of makeup, with the exception of mascara. I typically don't like mascara anymore. I still buy it sometimes because I do wear it once in a while, but I don't wear it every day like I used to because it takes so much time to get it off of your eyes before bed, and it just bothers me. I just like to wash my face nice and easy and not have to rub on my eyes a bunch before bed. Um, so that's why I don't really do mascara or eyeliner for that matter. Mascara and eyeliner I've come down off of pretty well because I don't feel like taking it off at night. It's actually pretty easy to take it off with coconut oil or olive oil, but I don't feel like it. So that's something that has helped make self-care easier for me, is just skipping what I don't feel like dealing with. Um, yeah. Another way I make self-care easy for myself through mental illness, like, is meal prep. Like I'll cook in bulk or prepare food in bulk, and I make healthy choices. Um, like I usually will bake fish for myself, and I will microwave some vegetables like peas and carrots, and then I'll make instant potatoes, and that's a healthy meal I can have for several days in a row for dinner. Breakfast I'll usually just make the day of, or I'll have like cereal or something. And then for dinner, I usually don't have a lunch. Like I eat only once or twice a day. So usually I'll have breakfast, and then I might have a snack or something midday because I'm not really hungry like that anymore. My medication made me really hungry when I first started it, but that's died off. Um, and um, but when it comes to dinner, I definitely meal prep dinner so I can have something really tasty without all the hassle every day. Um, so I'll cook the fish, make the veggies, and do some instant potatoes because I don't usually feel like using real potatoes. And I try not to let myself have sweets. Um, I have a lot of hormonal imbalances right now. I do believe I have PCOS, even though I haven't been formally diagnosed, but I have like the chin hair and everything, and I have a lot of stray hairs like on my belly. Like I have belly hair. A lot of women have that, but I shave it, and I have. I'm pretty sure I have PCOS, undoubtedly. Um, Irregular periods and all, but I just my medicine causes more hormonal imbalances too. So I have a lot working against me. So I am not too hard on myself as far as weight goes at the moment, but as far as diet goes, I do try and adhere to a very simple and clean diet. And meal prep is one of the ways I can do that. Um, yeah. So looking for work, I'm currently not really looking for work. I mean, I am, but I'm not because I don't feel mentally ready to go back to work, and that's okay. A lot of people are really hard on themselves, like I am, about not being ready to do stuff or even just feeling like you have to be okay all the time. You don't have to be okay all the time because mental health doesn't work that way. You're gonna have days, life is long, and you're gonna have days where you're just not okay. And if you're on meds, you're definitely gonna have days where you're just not up to doing anything and you don't feel like this or don't feel like that, or sometimes you may not feel anything at all, and that's okay. You don't have to feel anything at all. Sometimes that's just how it is. Definitely talk to someone if that persists. You don't want to go through life living like that. That's no way to live. And there's definitely something that can be done to help you feel better or feel something. So, yeah, just there's a lot of things to cope with as far as mental health goes. Um, some days I'm not okay. I'm not like miserable like I used to be. Like I used to be, um, I don't know if I'm allowed to say suicidal, but I used to be. And since being on medication, I'm not anymore. Um, but I do feel unmotivated, and I'm starting this channel partially because I don't know what to do with my life, if I'm being honest. Um, I've tried a lot of things, and I've experienced a lot of things, and and luckily I did some research, and based on what I've read online, um, it's normal in your 30s to be a little lost and a little confused and have no direction. Like some people have gone to college, some people haven't. Um, I went to college, but I didn't complete a degree. I have some college under my belt though. I was going to school for art. Um, but yeah, it's okay not to be okay. I've had to learn that. I've had to pray about that. Um, just lots of things. Um, people people think you have to have it all figured out. You don't. Like most people don't know what they're doing. They're just stumbling through life and having fortunate outcomes. Sorry, I keep hearing noises outside that are distracting me. But you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have a certain job by a certain age. If you can achieve your goals like that, that's really nice. I wish I could. Um, but there's a lot of people like me who can't and who haven't achieved their dreams the way they thought they would. And it's kind of a huge letdown. And you grieve it for a while sometimes, but that doesn't mean you can't try again. You can keep going and just pick yourself up a little bit at a time, day by day. Um, there's there's a lot of things you can do. You can figure out your personality type. You can figure out what career paths work for that. And if you still can't find anything, my mom actually said, "Well, maybe your career will find you," and that was comforting to me because some like trying to find everything on your own all the time is like trying to have it all figured out all the time. Like people just don't have it figured out all the time, and we're like from a biblical standpoint, man isn't made to have all the answers. We never were meant to have all the answers. Like when Adam and Eve were in the garden, they didn't have any answers. They just had blessings, and they were told not to do something, and they did it anyway. So now you have to live life where you're basically trying to play God half the time by figuring everything out. But sometimes, like my mom said, it'll find you. Your career will find you, or whatever will find you will find you. So that was very helpful. Um, yeah, like I do know I want to do entrepreneurial stuff, but I don't know exactly how to go about that. I've talked to some people about some things, and I've done a little research. I've tried for years to. Sorry, my back hurts. I've tried for years to get small businesses running, but I haven't had success with keeping them afloat. Like they closed down and all kinds of stuff, and people may be thinking, well, you must have had money to do that. No, I didn't, and that was part of the problem. I was a broke girl trying to make money happen, and I just didn't have the chops I needed to do that. So my little business ideas went under, and I would have whole websites set up and no one would really go to them. I just like, I'm good at ideas, but I'm not really good at the foundation of them. I'm not good at like the bones of the business, and I need to learn those things. Like a lot of people have help making their business work. Like they'll have a person for marketing. I didn't have that. I was trying to do everything on my own. And that's probably the biggest mistake I made, was trying to do it all alone. Like you're not supposed to really do that with anything in life. Like people need people. So if there's anything I could say I've learned, is that I need help, and we all need help. People are meant to help each other. Um, there's no shame in asking for help. I used to be so ashamed to ask for help in school. My grades probably could have been so much higher if I weren't afraid to ask for help. I felt like I was just supposed to have it down and know it as soon as the teacher said it, you know? And that's not true. It was just a lie I was believing. Don't know where it came from, but it was just a lie. Like, no one knows everything. Even teachers don't know everything. Teachers have teachers too. Um, yeah, just there was a lot of lies I used to believe about myself and about how things in life worked, and I just don't believe those anymore. And that's been liberating. And a lot of people take asking God for help for granted. I feel like I made that mistake a few times, but definitely I've learned to ask Him for everything and anything, and the results have been better. Um, um, yeah, I don't really have any more ideas. I don't think. I think I'll end the video here, but let me do, let me know down in the comments if there's anything else you want me to talk about or um, bring up in my videos. I'll be more than happy to try my best. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so I can keep doing it.